This little Zoom F3 field recorder changed absolutely everything for us when it comes to professional filming. Now we end up with one of these because we're having issues when recording audio. So for example, at the moment, we've got an overhead mic which is feeding directly into our FX6, which is our main camera. And sometimes we'll pick up this static charge thing. So I spoke to an audio specialist who said it's probably this, the preamps on it, it's something building up in it. What you really need to do is get like a preamp and feed that through and then into your camera. And this is how we ended up with this. But there is an amazing thing about this, which I was just like, oh my God, it's changed the way in which we film moving forward. So, but before I get into that bit, let's go over some of the features of this Zoom F3. So as mentioned, this is a field recorder. There is an area on here on the side where you put a micro SD, so you record directly onto it. You can see the sound waves coming in as well, and you can see the red lights on because we're actually using this for this video. You got two XLRs in here, so you can record two audio sources. Then we've got an out, which is fed to our camera. You don't necessarily need that, but then you get the recording on directly to the camera as well, rather than worrying about putting another mic in. There are some other features on the underside of it as well. You've got a 3/4 mount thread, but guys, that is the only way to attach it, but I've got a solution coming up in the video as well. And then on the side, you've got various buttons, and even more importantly, there's a connection here to add an additional Bluetooth receiver. Again, more on that in a little bit. And that's it really. It's a great little device. It doesn't take up a lot of space at all. You can see how big it is compared to my hands. So you can connect an app to it, but you do need to buy this Bluetooth connection thing. If I can get that in focus, there it is, in focus. And all that does is just slot into the side. Now, there's a little thing on here. You just take this off. It says that, and then you take that and you slot it in the right way round. What that will give you is a message which comes up on display saying there's a Bluetooth connection. That means you can use an app to control all the audio features on this, like gain, decibels, output, loads of stuff. We haven't gone through that because we've only had it for a week, but I was so excited about it, I thought I just need to show you guys what this can actually do. The second bit, which I actually like, is that this has 32-bit float. Now, if you're a professional recorder, you probably know what 32-bit float is, but for those of you like me who are normal human beings, you won't. 32-bit float actually means that you cannot peak this audio. And I was like, wait a minute, our FX6 does not have 32-bit float, which means, let's say, for example, you've worked out the levels for your talent on camera and they suddenly start speaking really, really loud. And it gets so loud that it peaks your audio and you just don't know what to do about it. Now, you would have heard all that peaking just then, but with 32-bit float, you can bring it back. So for example, what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to bring this all back so that you can hear me very, very clearly. Don't be afraid, it's completely normal. I'm going to show the sound waves right now. That took a lot of energy, but you get people, like for example, we've had clients where we're filming them and they're nice and quiet, and all of a sudden they get really animated and I'm like, oh no, I've got to turn down the gain. How are we going to rescue this? 32-bit has your back. Right, let's get on to not so great stuff about it. As I mentioned, you have got that 3/4 thread at the bottom and the only bit you got. So I believe that if you're interested in a separate recorder for your professional filming, you need a few more accessories. Starting off, ow. Now this is a great bit of kit, but with just a 1/4 mount on the back of it, it doesn't give it very much versatility to mounting options. So I'd recommend the following items to come with it to actually purchase at the same time. And if you do get it from Amazon, it suggests it, which is really handy. The first bit is a small rig attachment. You can see here that there's a 1/4 mount on it, and it's so simple to do. Hopefully this won't interfere with the actual recording of the audio, and I haven't stopped it or pressing the buttons. It's very tricky doing this sort of thing. Click that on there, and now as simple as that, you've got multiple mount options. But what's great about this little tiny device, well, it's not a cage, it's a mounting option, is that it also comes with these other attachments as Well, now these simply wrap around the pole bits here. So that means you can put on a boom pole, you can put it actually on your tripod at the same time. I'd also recommend getting a case to put it in. Everything nice and tidy in one place. That is definitely a good thing to do. And then finally, some rig to actually mount it up. We recommend this rig from Tilter. You got the mounts here so you can keep it secure on the bottom with the small rig attachment. Not wishing to point out the obvious, the other thing is you're going to need some cables. If you got a camera which doesn't have XLR input like the FX3 or the FX6 and you just got a headphone type jack, 3/4 mount jack, you will need one of these. XLR to, I don't know what that is, you know, standard headphone jack. One of those to add into it. And then obviously, if you are intending to route it, now I sound American, route it to an XLR connection on your camera, another XLR cable. So you can't just buy that and you'll be good to go. There's a few more accessories. It's not expensive, but will certainly up your game for audio recording. I have had Zoom recorders in the past, and I was hoping, I can't remember the name of it, I was hoping they'd really change this. But you're gonna need, I feel like I'm stepping back to 90s here. You're gonna need some batteries. That's right, you're gonna need a ton of these batteries because unfortunately, on the back of it, in order to replace it, you need to take off the small rig and then get to your batteries. This takes 2 AA batteries. Now, the website does say it lasts for up to 8 hours, and I can tell you it doesn't. 4 hours top. But you are kind of saved in some way. There is, on the side here, a USB-C output. So you could plug this in to an actual socket and not worry about battery. But there's a caveat on this. If you intend to record an output into your camera, I can tell you it's not pleasant because whatever it does, it builds up some sort of static charge, like some sort of sci-fi thing, and you just get noise coming through your camera. You can hear the audio, but it's absolutely useless. I've decided just to bulk out on AA's, keep an eye on the battery level, and that's the way we're going to move forward with it. There is a nice battery indicator here. You might be able to see that just there, tell you how much battery's left. And from experience so far, I reckon you'll max out maybe 5 hours, but then if you've got 2 XLR outputs going, that's going to go down. So I think what Zoom need to do is catch up with the 21st century and have rechargeable batteries or interchangeable rechargeable batteries on these devices. So my bit of advice on external recording is it will depend on your camera. For example, if you're in the market for a new FX30 camera, which comes with the XLR handle on top, you have to pay an additional £350 for the XLR handle. But this Zoom is £250. I'd say bin that off, save yourself some money and get an external recorder which does so much more because you've got the 32-bit float and the safety of a separate recorder as well. This Zoom recorder is £250. We got on a deal for £200, so it's worth everything. And I think all the accessories you need is another £50. So it's not an expensive item to have here in your kit, especially if you forked out £4,000, £5,000 or £6,000 for your camera and all the lenses. A couple £100 to feel safe on those recordings is definitely a way forward, and I just wish I had done it earlier. So this has been a game changer for our audio, but I can tell you what else has been a game changer is the DJI RS4 Mini coming up next. Take care, guys. I'll see you soon.